have more degrees than a thermometer.
When you're engaged
Stands for their interest. Well, they
There's a lot of
Your
planning.
daughters will be her new
I believe in mental health.
sure that we have mental
We travel together on the path to intentional leadership, one conversation at a time. We go down a new road of insight with an expert guest who knows what it takes to navigate the opportunities and challenges of leadership. Why? Because they've already been there. So grab your compass and whatever else you need, and let's set out, leading the way.
Welcome back to Leading the Way. I'm your host, Nagam Al-Smairi, resilience and leadership trainer and creator of the Train Your Resilience Muscle framework, where we travel together on the path to intentional leadership, one conversation at a time. My guest today lost his sight and found his vision. And by the end of this conversation, you'll understand exactly what that means. Kijuan, welcome to Leading the Way.
Hey, Nagam, how are you doing today?
All right. Great to have you.
Likewise.
So for anyone joining us for the first time, Leading the Way is where real leaders share what intentional leadership actually looks like from the inside, the real road. And if you're a manager or leader navigating the unglamorous parts of leadership, stay tuned, because this August, Leading the Way is going all in for you. Now, let me paint the full picture for our audience, because your story doesn't start in 2017, Kijuan, right? So Kijuan Amey served 10 years in the United States Air Force, rising to the rank of staff sergeant, drummer for over 25 years, a stage actor, a leader in every room he walked into. And then on May 5th, 2017, everything changed in a single moment. He lost his eyesight in a motorcycle accident. He didn't just recover, he rebuilt. Best-selling author of Don't Focus on Why Me, CEO, mentor to veterans, ambassador for the Air Force Wounded Warriors Program, speaking to crowds of over 1,500 and sitting one-on-one with people who need to hear that it's possible to keep going. In his words, I may have lost my sight, but I did not lose my vision. Let's get into it. It's so great to have you here today.
Thank you so much. And I always, kind of gloss over the acting career that I had. And I personally think I still have it, because you never know when I'm going to kick in like some random voice or some random action. Or, like, people will be like, where did that come from? And I'm hey, I just don't know. It just comes out. Okay.
You know what? When we had our conversation, Kijuan, I don't think I learned this about you. And I think it's important because it's part of who you are, right?
It really is. I want to say I fell into it. I'll be honest, because as you already mentioned, 25 years of drumming, right? Musician. I love singing, playing instruments, whatever. That was what I was there for. When I was on that set, I was there for running sound, setting up the stage, setting up the backdrop. That's what I was there for. I wasn't even supposed to be on stage. And I turned into an actor. How? Because they saw me coaching somebody off set. I was coaching my friend Josh Smith. He's actually a world-renowned choreographer now. Holy crap!
Wow.
Yeah, he's the choreographer for Chris Brown, Usher, guys like that. Like, so he's big time. He's not like some small guy. And so, anywho, him and I went to school together. But we were doing a show, a on stage play called "Riding with Joe Crack," and it was basically, the premise behind it was saying use your mind, not your nine. And it was talking about, guns. So don't use your brain. Use your brain, but not a gun. Get away from the streets. Get away from selling drugs. That's what the premise was based on. And I was coaching my friend, and he had like dancing roles on there, like in the beginning, but he also had a role where he was supposed to be like a robber. So, but the way he was toting the gun wasn't like, listen, I need you to make this convincing, okay? When you come up there, you can't tote a gun all lackadaisical. swinging it around and stuff. I need you to point that thing, get in his face with it. And that's just exactly what I'm doing to him off set. But everybody's watching me and I have no idea because they're behind me.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm like, man, you got to get in his face. You got to, stand over top of him. I don't care what you do. Just make sure it's convincing. You don't want to turn your back to the audience. You want to make sure you're sideways. And I'm just going off on a rant. And everybody's looking at me. And then the guy who runs the show, Vegas Don, shout out to you, man. He, by the way, the name of the organization was called Campaign for Change. And so he is telling me, he's like, hey, Kijuan. And I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, you want an acting spot? I said, He's like,
You know
on.
so much.
Yeah, he's like, come on, I got a spot for you. I said, and then I point over to where my dad was because he was behind the sound. I said, I'm running the sound. And then I look over at my dad. He's like, do one of these numbers. Like, go ahead. And I'm like, I don't think this is for me. And the whole time, I'm able to coach this guy in the corner, but I don't feel like I could do it on the stage. Wow. All I had to do was turn it on. Listen, I did. Long story short, I did so good. And this was all before I got into the military, okay? So I was doing so good at the acting spot that when they were landing these big stages like the Durham Performance Arts Center, they were actually reaching out to me while I was in the military and said, hey, man, can you come back and do the show? I'm like, I'm in Oklahoma. How am I going to make it back to North Carolina? And then back in time for training. It's not going to happen, dude. It's not going to happen. And I'm pretty sure they're not going to let me off for a play. So I'm sorry. I signed that dotted line and took the oath. Okay. So I don't know what to tell you. But that's the one thing I usually gloss over is my acting career. And it's amazing. I've also started doing voiceover as well. I did that for I'll say a little over a year. It was for PBS Kids. They were trying to get a podcast for children going. And so that was pretty cool. I thought that was fun. It was like 7 or 8 different groups trying out for this slot. It was some really good people. I'm not just saying this to be like, oh, I was running the mill, it was okay. No, these people were great. I was like, they are putting some money behind this. I mean, studio time, everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So your story, I mean, you've got like a lot of different stories, but
Yes.
I think
Yes.
they all contribute to who you are today. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you would be 100% accurate. From me starting off in sports at the age of 5 until now. I mean, everything is till the ski trip I just took 2 weeks ago. Everything I do, it serves a purpose in my life. It's not like people like, oh, you're out there having fun. Okay, yes, I'm having fun, but I'm also learning as I'm having fun. So I want to go to this. 2 weeks ago, like I told you, I was skiing. This was a ski trip with an organization called Dream Adaptive. Very amazing. If you don't know who they are, look them up. Please, veterans, please look them up. People with disabilities, please look them up. Anywho, we went to Whitefish, Montana, and went skiing out there. And listen, okay, I've never been to Montana before, so I knew there was like mountains, but I didn't know like are they huge mountains? Are they Alaskan mountains like Mount Denali or something? Like I don't know. I've seen Mount Denali through clouds, and I'm flying above it. That's how high that peak is.
Wow.
So I'm like, are they that bad, that big? If they are, I don't want no parts. So anywho, we're on this mountain, and I was there for a week, Monday through Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. was the days we went skiing. The first day, I would say was uneventful, but that was up until so after lunchtime, it made it uneventful. So during my accident, May 5th, 2017, with my motorcycle accident, I now have two different size feet because I have a screw in my right foot.
Mm.
So I don't know who's all been skiing before, but you have to get fitted for these ski boots when you go get rentals. Even if they're not rentals, even if you're buying, you have to get fitted for ski boots.
Mm.
Okay, so my left foot, smooth as butter. I mean, 10 all day long. It's not changed. The right foot, no. It's an 11. It's an 11 wide. The calf muscle is weird. Like everything is just out of whack. And so I knew as soon as they tried to put me in that 10, I said, no, that's not gonna work. They were like, oh, just try. I said, you're not hearing me. I got two different size feet, medically evaluated. Okay. I'm telling you, I got two different size feet. We're starting resilience here already. Okay, guys. This is
Yep.
what this story is about. So the resilient side of me is saying, hey, I'm trying to work with y'all, but y'all not hearing me. I got two different size feet. We're gonna at least have to go up a whole boot size, one whole boot size. We're gonna have to go up. So they go get one whole boot size bigger of the same style boot that I had on my left foot. Okay, I got it on. A little bit of a struggle, and I'm feeling a little discomfort in my calf muscle. But I, I don't, Nagam, you can't speak on this because you're not a man. I am. We usually try to suck it up when we feel a little discomfort. It's not that bad. We'll just keep pushing. That was the worst thing I could have done. Why? Because after I came back inside and I kicked that ski boot off, I had this really nasty, I won't say nasty, but I had a really nice bruise on my on the inner calf muscle
Mm.
because I was trying to suck it up. And it was painful for the next, I don't know, week.
Wow.
Yeah. So when they say if it doesn't feel good, it's probably because it's not.
Mm. This was you trying to have fun?
Yes, exactly. Me
God.
trying to have fun turned into pain. Okay.
Oh God.
So that's number one. Then they finally found a boot that fit. So because at first they were putting like these little cushion pieces on the inside where where it hurt at on my calf muscle, wasn't working. I said these are not gonna do it. We're gonna have to find another boot or something. And they were like, I'm like, hey man, we got all day. You know, I don't have to go back out there right now. We got more hours to go, you know? And so that was my mindset. See, my mindset is not to rush you. My mindset is to let's do it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's what a lot of people, I feel like in me telling this story, I'm teaching a lesson as well, because we could rush it, do it wrong, and I could have been in pain all week.
Yeah.
Or we can fix this on the first day and get it right so I can be comfortable for the rest of the week. Think about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get the boot right. Hallelujah. because my calf was thanking me later. I did soak it that night, but it was thanking me later. Okay. And so
These are the lessons though that are found in everyday life that
yeah.
people don't often think I'm going to be learning something from that.
Oh no. Yeah, they don't. And so that was the first day. You know, I got back out there, I skied just fine on that first day. Day two. Here's where the fun comes in. Because y'all really about to learn the story of resilience right here. So in skiing, there's this thing called a magic carpet. So most people always look at the movies or whatever. If you've ever seen a movie with somebody going skiing, they go up on the ski chair and all the good stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. The magic carpet is like, so when you go through certain airports, they have these moving walkways. So think of those moving walkways. but instead of it going flat, it's going up at an incline because you're going up a mountain.
Mm.
What it can do is it has this rubber, instead of that moving walkway being metal, like in the airports, it's got a rubber band on it, like conveyor belt, like a
Conveyor
conveyor
belt,
belt that you see at the grocery
Yeah.
store. That's what you can do. Literally picture it as. And
Mhm.
so your skis can get caught on it, so you could go up, right? Or your snowboard, you walk your snowboard up, and you take it up. Well, that's how that is, but it's covered with plexiglass. Just in case, it's snowing, you can get out of the snow and ride up with no problem. Rain, you can ride up with no problem, whatever the case is. And this is only to go up, not to come down. Okay. So anywho, I'm coming down the ski slope. Might I preface by saying, if you have a ski instructor telling you which way to go and which way to turn, please make sure they know their left from their right. Okay. Please. And I repeat, make sure they know their left from their right. Okay. Now with that being said, y'all probably know where I'm going with this. So I am coming down the hill. He is looking up at me, of course, backwards. So in a sense. So if you're staring up a hill and I'm looking down a hill, our left and rights are not the same. They're opposite.
Mhm.
But if you tell me to go right, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go right.
Mhm.
But if you meant left, I'm not going to know that you meant left.
Oh.
Okay? So I went right. And I start turning right. And then he says, right. And I'm like, okay, I turn even harder. Well, he stops talking. Why does he stop talking? Because you only got 2 more seconds and then I smack into the magic carpet.
Oh God.
And it's like one of those TV shows where you smack into, where you see somebody run into something, and they're like, oh. It was like one of those, but and so, so you guys are seeing my acting skills come out now. But this is what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I fell back, and he's of course now charging up the hill to me, to get to me and make sure I'm okay. I'm not responding. He can, and by the way, we can communicate because I have a headset on, and so does he with the boom microphone in front of my mouth. So we were communicating coming up, going down the hill. So, anywho, I'm not saying a word because first off, I'm trying to figure out what just happened. Because I smacked the magic card. Luckily, I wasn't going fast. For those who understand skiing, I was doing a J turn, and J turns cause you to stop. So literally, a J would make you stop if you're coming down the hill and turning back up. You know what I mean? So that's what I was doing, a J turn. And so before I could complete the J, I smacked the magic carpet. And the magic carpet completed my J. So I'm laying on the ground looking up. By the way, it is raining / drizzling, however you want to, lay that out there. It is doing this, by the way. So I'm laying up at the sky, looking at the sky and allowing the rain to fall on my face to make sure I'm still here. I'm not even joking. I'm just laying there like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I just ran into the magic carpet. I'm pretty sure that's what that loud noise was. And this is all in my head because I'm not saying anything. He's just like panicking, running over there. Oh my God, I can't believe what happened. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did this. This is crazy. Are you okay? Are you okay? And he finally gets to me and kneels down. He says, are you okay? And I said, I've been hit by worse. he says, oh my gosh. I said, what? I told you I've been hit by a car before. Come on, man. This is not a car.
This is awesome. Wow.
And I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. So I say I've been hit by worse. He says, okay. Are you okay? I said, well, I'm not concussed because I played football before, so I know what that's like. And so then I finally say, hey, pop me out of these skis. You got me laying on this ground. Get me out of these skis, man. He gets me out of the skis. And I flip up on my knees and I'm just sitting there for a little bit. He's like, okay, so he's still in panic mode. He's okay, can we let's see, you want to walk back down the hill, or how you want to do this? Are you able to ski? I'm like, I, I, I think I could still ski. I mean, that's probably the quickest way, right? Because we weren't like midway, we weren't halfway, we weren't a third. We had a long way to go down this hill, so walking would have sucked.
Mm.
So I say, I think I can ski. He's like, are you sure? I said, I'm pretty sure. And he's like, okay, which way is downhill? And I said, that way. And he's like, okay, you answered that really quick. I said, I told you I'm fine. I said, he was like, okay, I'm just making sure. I said, I get it, but I'm fine. I wouldn't lie to you. I wouldn't even do that to myself. You know what I mean? Like, that's unsafe for sure, to be on some skis and not understand your left, right, up, down. What that's really unsafe. So the resilient part of this story, though, is I trust him enough to get back on my skis and tell me how to get back down this hill.
Mm.
That was the resilient part of this. Yes, I ran into something. Yes, I assessed that I was okay, that I
Yeah.
had smacked into something, that this guy is crazy, he doesn't know his left from his right. And I still was resilient enough to get back on skis. First off, I was resilient enough to stand up because I could have told them to go get a snowmobile or whatever.
Yeah.
Come get me. I could have easily said it. But I was resilient enough and understood that I was capable
Yeah.
to continue down this hill. And again, this was only day 2, guys. I still went out there for day 3. So that's
Don't tell me
resilience.
something. Don't tell me something else happened on day 3. Come on.
Oh
tell me
no,
something
oh no.
fun.
Now what did happen that I wish I had known about before we were done is that so I told y'all he didn't know his left and right really well. They taped his hands and put the words left and right on them. Nobody told me until we left. I said, you gotta
Wow.
be kidding me. I was gonna take a picture with that.
Did you? I hope you did.
No, they didn't tell me. It was too late. I was
Okay.
going, I said, come on, you guys are killing me. I would have definitely took a picture with this guy. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been hilarious.
Wow.
So yeah, no, that was my resilient story just 2 weeks ago, guys. Like this
Yeah.
resiliency life is anywhere, anytime, any
Yep.
moment. You know what I mean? And a lot of people think my resiliency came and went on May 5th, 2017,
Mhm.
right after my recovery or whatever. No, it's going on right now.
Yeah.
You know, like, so yeah, that's just a story that recently happened.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to look far from me.
And you know, while you're telling this story, you know, I took note of a lot of things that you were describing. And I want to go back to these and
Okay.
get your input on that. Number one, with the shoe, with you're trying to
Yeah.
fit the boots. Is it
Yeah.
boots, right?
Ski boots, yeah.
Ski boots. You know, the one thing that came to mind as you were telling this is grit, the word grit, and how people can misunderstand grit to be, you know, it's the thing that I gotta have, regardless
Mhm.
of what the circumstance or the outcome is.
Yeah.
What is your thought on? And I'm just curious I did a workshop. Was it last week? I don't remember. Leadership Oakland. I think it was March 18th, whenever that was.
Yeah,
And
yes, last week.
yeah, that last week. And the topic was grit and grace,
Mhm.
right? And I talked about both of these, and I'm curious to hear your take on grit, since you told a little bit about that in your story.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, see the thing between and there's this fine line between grit and you're crazy.
Yeah.
There's a fine line, okay? But every now and then people are like, one foot is over here and one foot is over here.
Yep.
And my right foot was in you're crazy.
Yeah.
My left
Yeah.
foot was in grit. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's what I mean by that is,
Yeah.
there's okay, I'm gonna get this done, we're gonna do it, everything's gonna be fine. And then the crazy side of me was saying, I'm gonna do it even if it hurts, because I feel like people are gonna say I'm, being a wimp, I'm punking out. I'm thinking about what other people think versus thinking about what's gonna be safe, what's gonna be comfortable, what's gonna be suitable for me.
Yeah.
Well, who cares what they think? They're not feeling my pain.
Exactly. Yeah.
If something happens to my foot, if something happens to my calf, they're not going to have to deal with it. I am.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference between that grit versus, okay, I'm stepping into the crazy side of this.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal. It's not that serious. What, and it goes back to assessing the evaluation of this. Okay, so
Yeah.
what happens if, you know what I mean? Let's start there. What happens if? And
Yeah.
I was a computer guy. I studied some coding, and we have these if then conditions.
Yeah.
If this happens, then this will happen. So if something bad would have happened to my foot, then who knows what they would have done to it? These are the things that go on in my head. I
Yeah.
have so many if then statements that have saved my life. Okay. And I wish a lot more people would think that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
If then, because if something negative or even positive, you can do it positively as well. It's not always
Mhm.
negative conditions. So if this happens, then what?
Yeah.
And when you think of it that way, you'll more than likely get yourself out of a lot of trouble. And I
Yeah.
promise, 9 times out of 10, and if you think I'm wrong, feel free to call me out, because I will definitely show you how I'm right in more times than not, because that's the best way computers work, and that's just how humans work.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I got to caution, and I am in agreement with you 100% of the time
Mhm.
with the if then, but I do have to caution that there are some overthinkers that will get caught in the if then and never actually make a move forward, and
Yeah.
so right?
Now, the if then, yes, that is an assessment tool, not
Mhm.
a decisionary tool.
Yeah,
It's an assessment tool. So you assess things that way. You make your decision regardless.
yeah,
Your decision is something else separate. But the assessment of, that don't feel right. But since it doesn't feel right, if it then it might. Ah, no, I'm not doing it. Decision. Bam.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's where I come
Yes.
from that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that distinction between the assessment side of things versus the decision side of
Yes.
things, and sometimes if then also includes your gut,
Yeah.
your gut feeling. How
Which
you
is
feeling?
usually right.
Yeah, I think
Because
it
my gut. I'm
wasn't it
sorry.
Simon Sinek that says that the I think it was Simon Sinek that talks about the gut feeling
Mhm.
and how that's actually I mean we say it's the gut, but it's your brain, right? It's your
Yes,
brain
it's
going
based
through.
off of chemicals, yeah, in your
Yeah.
brain. So and that's the thing. I wasn't trying to step on you. That's what I was trying to say. Like my gut, when I felt my calf hurting, was telling me, Kijuan,
Yeah.
something's not right.
Yeah.
Kijuan, I don't think you should do this. Okay, I'll let you do what you want to do, man. And that's what my brain was doing. You still want to go?
You
Have
know,
at it.
Kiwan, I absolutely am loving this conversation. I'll tell you why. Usually I interview guests or I talk to even outside of the podcasting network. I talk to other people and I ask them what resilience means, and I like to get different meanings for people, what it means, and it's usually this big story that turns somebody into something else, or it's this big moment in life, but I love focusing on this moment that you actually went to have fun,
Mhm.
went out, and it wasn't a big, accident such as the one you had in 2017, but
Mhm.
it still is filled with examples of how someone can be resilient. And that's because this is why this is important, because not everybody's going to have that big accident or that, big contention in life to, give them that opportunity to think.
Mhm.
And I want people to see that resilience is something that can be trained and it can be
Right.
accomplished. And
Oh,
and
yeah.
those small moments have a lot of gold in them.
Mhm. Oh, for sure. Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
and the second part of your story on the second day, there's something else that which also goes back to what you were saying about assessing the situation. I think
Mhm.
I think a lot of coaches, and I also was talking about this the other day. A lot of coaches teach something very important, and that's the pause. And I believe you do the same.
Mhm.
The pause and the importance of the pause. And I think you actually, what you just demonstrated in your story is exactly that. When
Yep.
you fell on your back and you're
Yep.
like taking, the situation in. What
Yep.
do you think? Was that your pause?
The big question, what just happened?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was my pause.
Yeah.
Literally, I smacked into the side. I'm 240 pounds. Okay. I smack
Yeah.
into the side of some plexiglass and it's not going anywhere. Trust me. I, I was the problem. It was not. So it wasn't going anywhere. I smack into the side of this plexiglass and I fall back and I'm laying there on the snow and I'm looking at the sky and all I could think was, what just happened? Now, here's the thing: we can get humiliated, we can be embarrassed, we get all of these things can rush through our bodies because they're feelings, they're emotions. These are
Yeah.
things that come over us. All I could think was, what just happened? Well, let me tell you. First off, I was told the wrong way to go, but I
Mhm.
obeyed the orders I was given. It
Mhm.
wasn't like it was my fault. Same thing that happened in my motorcycle accident was not my fault.
Yeah.
But the outcome, what happened? I'm trying to assess my life. The same
Yeah.
way I did with the motorcycle accident. I'm trying to assess my life.
Yeah.
Four,
Yeah.
what am I doing next? What do I have to do to move forward? Because, see, resilience, the definition of resilience is how you bouncing back from something tragic, bouncing back from something that happened to you. But my definition of resilience does not stop there. It's bouncing back from something and moving forward.
Yay! We both agree on that one.
Exactly. Because you can bounce back all day, but if you
Yeah.
stagnant, you're not doing anything. What
Yeah.
what is it? So anyway, my moving forward as I told the story. I assessed my situation. I got up on my knees to make sure I was okay before I stood up. You know, I'd rather
Yeah.
fall from my knees than my feet. And then I said, yeah, no, I'm fine. He even asked me a question to make sure I was okay.
Yeah.
And it was a really quick response. It wasn't like a that way. No, it was like like I could have smacked him if I wanted to. And so when you assessed or when I assessed my situation,
Yeah.
I understood I'm actually okay.
Yeah.
Life can continue. All right, give me the skis. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
And
And
so
and
that's what
and
happened.
one other thing that I caught from your story, which was after you did the question, what happened? What just
Mhm,
happened? Am I okay?
mhm.
You took that moment. The next thing was when he asked you if you were okay, you said, "I've done that before." And
I've
that's
been hit by
another,
worse.
yeah, and that is another thing in resilience, which is looking back into the assets you already have. Into
Yeah.
the Yeah, and that I'm telling you, such a small story, but
Mhm.
has such value, and I wanted to know if, and I want you to tell our, our audiences either now or replaying this later, is now, did this, what you just did there, did that take practice for you to go through all these steps? And these are all steps that you just told in a little story, which are amazing. Did it take you practice? Is it, what did you need to do in order to get to that point?
Well, absolutely, it took practice. I mean, I'm not just speaking from the coaching side because I am a resilience coach,
Mhm.
but even before I became this, even before I was ever into speaking, because I was not, I was not. I was the last person you wanted to put in for. Not to say I couldn't talk, I didn't want to talk, and so I can act the clown all day. I can be a fool, I can be a clown all day long. Okay, but to actually get up in front of somebody and speak something of importance,
Uh-huh.
it was one of those things I didn't care to do. So now going back to what I was saying, I would go back to probably, me playing football in high school. I go to high school because middle school, you're just still trying to figure your way out. High school ball, I'll never forget it. We were running the entire practice. Coach Adrian Jones, if you're listening, this story's about you. Uh, and funny enough, so my name is Kijuan, but the guy beside me, his name was Keon, and he was a year ahead of me. So I believe I was a junior. Yeah, I think I was a junior. He was a senior, and we were running. I mean, all day, the whole field, up the hills. I mean, everything you could think of, bear crawling, anything you could think of, with full pads, helmet, everything. And I'm ready to throw in the towel. You know why? Because it wasn't my fault. But when you're doing team sports, you suffer as a team until somebody fesses up. And I still don't know to this day who did this. Till this day, I don't know. Okay. And so we're out here. Hey man, listen. I told Keon, who was right beside me, I said, hey man, I think I'm done with this. If this ain't the last one, I quit. And I told him straight like that. He said, and he was on my left. I will never forget it because it was like it was engraved in my head. He was on my left and he looked to his side and looked at me. He said, dude, don't give up. We're all in this together.
Mm.
And I'll never forget that crap. And I mean, when he said that, I kind of put my head down. I was like, why you have to say that? Why couldn't you just agree with me? Like, let me go out. Okay. Let me leave. I want to leave. I don't want to do this anymore. And so what's crazy is I think we ran two more times and he stopped us from running. And I was like, I was this close from not being on the team anymore.
Mm.
2 runs away from not being on the team anymore. Who knows what I would have had to do to get back on the team? Who knows how everybody would have looked at me if I would have turned my back on my brothers? Because that's what you are when you're out there doing stuff like that. But you don't look at it that way. All you see is you and how somebody's doing you wrong because somebody else messed up. That's all you think about. But the resilient mindset is not supposed to be that way. The resilient mindset is supposed to say, what is happening? Just like I did on that mountain.
Yeah.
Just like I did in that hospital bed. What just happened? And I am getting heated when we're out there running. Somebody better fess up. I don't fight. I'm not really into fighting. Lover, not a fighter. but that day, I was ready to see anybody who wanted it. Anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just one of those things. It was kind of like a cowardly moment, is how I felt. Somebody was too cowardly to fess up to
Yeah.
what they did, and they were gonna make everybody suffer for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just a story that's where it started with my resilience.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it was even more. It was like magnified when I got to the military because they preached that hard in the military, super hard.
And it's all about the team in the
Yeah,
military.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And we haven't even gotten to your, your accident to what
Right.
led to, a big change in your life. And if you don't mind, speaking about that for a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. May 5th, 2017. Some might call it Cinco de Mayo. I call it my new life's journey.
Mhm.
Because it changed me forever, literally. And at first, when you're first going through these types of traumatic
Mhm.
situations, you don't, oh, I'm not different. I'm the same old this, I'm the same that. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, let that go. Let that lie. Hear me clearly. Let that lie go
Mm.
because that's a lie. And you're in
Yeah.
denial about it, which makes it even worse because your brain's not processing it. It's trying to lie for you.
Yeah.
But in your heart, you know you're not the same. There's actually a world that your brain can live in that tells you this is okay. This is not what you're
Yeah.
like. Your brain can actually do that. And if you keep feeding it that information, it'll keep doing it.
Yep.
So I live in reality, and my reality says that this is me. I am blind, but that is not all I am.
Yeah.
I do have a traumatic brain injury, but that is not what I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So these are things that are now a part of me, but they don't make me who I am.
Yeah.
So when I am, for example, going back to the trip to Montana, I just told you guys I have a traumatic brain injury. I land in Montana Monday. Monday evening, we're supposed to have when everybody gets in, we're supposed to have a group uh dinner. Well, guess who doesn't make it to the group dinner? This guy, because I have a headache that won't allow me to make it to the group dinner. I'm not trying to be antisocial. I've just been up since 2 a.m. and my body needs rest. I have not slept. I need
Yeah.
a nap or something. My brain is saying, shut it down. We need sleep. And so now I'm having this super bad, and when I tell y'all headache, I don't just mean these little baby headaches that you could pop a couple
Mhm.
Tylenol and keep it moving. It doesn't work for me. My headaches originate from my neck, the backside of my right neck. They come up the top.
Mhm.
They stop behind my eye. They impress my face, my temple, and then when it gets to the top of my head, it literally. So I have you see the scar here
Yeah.
that goes across the top of my head from when they had
Mhm.
to cut me open. Okay, so when it gets to the top of my head, it literally feels like somebody's doing that again. They're cutting the top of my head open.
Wow. Wow.
I just want y'all to sit on that for a second. Think of somebody trying to cut your head open. It's the sharpest pain you'd ever feel. And I feel it like it just happened. And so I'm literally laying in the bed holding my head as if
Mm.
I'm trying to hold it back together like somebody's cutting it open. Like this is what I'm doing to my head. I'm squeezing it back together like I wanted to stay together.
Mm.
What else do I need? I can't do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried different medications, prescription medications, sumatriptan, rizatriptan. Everything they give me does not work. What do? And when people hear about veterans with PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, what they don't understand is the actual effects of it.
Mm.
Mine is not combat related. Mine is from a motorcycle accident. You could talk about these combat. Yes, combat related incidences are super real, but mine is from head trauma.
Mm.
So when I'm like, oh, all chipper, having fun, moving around, dancing, and when I say dancing, I do mean dancing, lifting weights, doing all this stuff. And then the next moment you see me, I'm in agonizing pain. This is a day. This is literally my life. It can happen just like that. I can be woken up, hear me clearly, because this just happened to one, two, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before last. I was woken up at midnight 30 with a headache. I am dead sleep, okay? And out of the middle of nowhere, wake up, your head hurts. What? Wait, what? Why? Why does it hurt? What's going on? I'm not even doing it. I'm just asleep. So when I try to explain these things to people, well, you need to go see the doctor. I've seen the doctor. And don't get me wrong, I'm going back. I do have an appointment coming up to see neurology, and I'm going to make them do all the tests they can
Yeah.
because something's not right. But what I will say is I have to live with this. That is a true question. I have to live with this. And when you hear, and I'm not trying to go off on a deep end like some crazy maniac, but this does hit home for me because I'm a veteran. When you hear about the suicide rate in the military, because of the many different things that go on, I understand. There are so many things that happen. People either neglect it, people either act like it did not happen. Trust me, I hear these stories all the time. Not only am I an ambassador, I'm a mentor. They tell me these stories. I hear them from first world. This is first world. I'm not speaking from he say, she say. No, this is what I heard out of my own phone. I am connected. I'm not speaking from somebody who reads just articles. I hear about people who get literally told that nothing is wrong with them. How is nothing wrong with you when you're battling this every day? Or maybe it's just that you don't want to do any work. And so I try not to get too involved because it really does irritate me, and I try not to put any more stress on my brain than I already do. Because I'm also, me being an entrepreneur, that's enough stress on its own. That's another stress on its own, okay? But I try not to put any extra stress on myself, but at the same sense, I can't help but care, man. I really care because I went through it. It took me 4 years to get medically retired. What else do you need to know about me being blind?
Wow. Yeah.
A simple eye test can show you I'm blind. And I also have my nuclei, it was what do you call it? I forget the correct word, but it's basically white. That tells you right there, my eye's not the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you let them deal with it. It takes them 4 years to get it right. 4 years for you to understand I can't see anymore. They cut my head open, so something's obviously wrong.
Yeah.
if I can show you all the scars I have on my body, you'd be like, yeah, this guy probably needs to go and be medically retired. Like, it's almost comical, but stupid at the
Yeah.
same time.
I,
You
I
know what I
gotta
mean?
tell you, Kijuan, you've got such a great spirit with,
Oh, you,
you
thank
know,
you. Thank you.
because somebody talking about all this traumatic,
Mhm.
experience going through all of this, and I the headache thing, I will say I understand a teeny tiny bit because
Mhm.
I have migraines and I'm on
Yeah.
rizatriptan and I've been through the journey of trying everything
Yup.
and not working. So a teeny tiny bit. I will not, say that I completely understand because I do not have your, situation
Yeah.
fully. But it goes back to, I think, your understanding, your self-awareness, your
Yes.
your understanding of yourself. and
Mhm.
and I think, and I do not understand veteran life as you do, as you have lived it. But
Mhm.
one thing that, unfortunately, we have all these issues with the system. But I think resilience being taught to people would help a lot. What would help, people understand what they're going through first, because nobody understands what you, Kiwan, is going
Mhm.
through, Nagam is going through, anyone else is going
Right.
through, but yourself. You know,
Exactly.
and I think that, I mean, I don't know if you have a framework that you teach resilience through, and I'm curious to know.
Well, other than so here's how I like to teach resilience first and
Uh-huh.
foremost. I teach it from experience.
Hmm.
Learned experience is the best way.
Right.
Why do I say that? Because I can teach you a textbook all day long, but you'll never know what I've been through unless you
Yeah.
talk to me.
Yeah.
So what am I trying to get at? Well, we all have our own journeys through life. I can't cookie cutter this thing for you.
Yeah.
I cannot. I can give you some steps. That's great. What if those steps don't work? What if
Yeah.
those steps don't add up to what you're looking for? How about if we consult and I actually learn more about you?
Yeah.
I literally just told my friend this the other day. I've been knowing him all my life, okay? He is 9 years older than me. And we know each other because of church. He's another drummer at the church. He's the pastor's son.
Mhm.
So check this. I told him this Sunday, just this past Sunday. Brother, on Friday, this past Friday, just on Friday, going back to the headaches, I had to sleep in my closet.
Wow.
And there are things that make you say, "Oh wow," but there are other things that make you stop and turn and look at somebody. And that was one of them.
Mm.
He stopped and he said, "Wait, what?" I said, "Yes, I slept in my closet on
Mm.
Friday." People don't know what I'm going through, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they see my videos, they see what I post, my pictures. I'm looking as happy as I can be,
Yeah.
but behind every single smile can be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see, the struggles in life that we deal with, we try to cover up. We try to make ourselves seem normal. And I tell people all the time, it is okay with not being okay.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? Because if you, again, going back to your mindset, if you keep telling yourself, I'm good, I'm good, guess what you're going to think? Every day you're going to think you're good.
Yeah.
And so when I literally ask people nowadays, how are you living? I don't ask, how are
Mm.
you doing?
Yeah.
How are you living?
Yeah.
If you really need to talk, we can talk. I don't care what I'm doing. If I have the time for it, which usually I do, if I'm not on the road or something, we can talk. Because I don't ever want anybody to feel like they cannot talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I know what that feels like. And yes, I know some family members will be, oh, you could just call me. You could just, yeah. What about the time when I did? And I felt like I wasn't being heard. You were just trying to imply what you thought of me.
Yeah.
That's not something I want to hear. What I want to do is to be actually heard. And when you respond, I want to be based off of something I said, not something you think I should do. Because I've actually witnessed this. And this is why, I try not to brag about like the training and all this stuff, all the certifications I've been through. But these certifications and training that I've been through are really, really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I say this? It's because the mentorship, the ambassadorship, the resiliency training, the speaking trainings, all the stuff that I've been through are because I want to be the best me for you. It's not for me.
Yeah.
I want to be the best me for you.
Yes.
Because if I'm the best me for you, you are going to be a better you.
Yes.
That's what servitude is about. And so that's where I'm at with it, and hope I didn't go too far off a tangent.
Oh,
But
no.
that's
Goodness.
literally that's just
Actually,
how.
We have 2 minutes remaining, and there is
Mhm.
so much more that I have on my notes, Kijuan, that we didn't even get to talk about. But I absolutely, I mean, your story. I think we gotta come back and do a part 2.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, I'm
There's
okay with that.
yeah, there's just a lot, and then this conversation has been a masterclass in what it truly means to have vision when everything around you is dark, and that's what you're living. And I'm so grateful you chose to share that here on
Yes.
Leading the Way. But before I let you go, where can our audience find you and continue this conversation to get to know a little bit more about your world?
Yeah, absolutely. As you've already shown the screen and the imagery, you can reach out to me at amymotivation.com. That is AMEY motivation.com. On
Mhm.
there, you can find, a lot of the things about me, how to book me as a speaker. You can send out a message to me if you want to be mentored. We can go that route. You can also find all of my social media handles, whether that's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Listen, just look for my name, Kijuan Amey. I'm like one of one.
And is your book? Can they get your book on your website?
Yes, my website does have the link there, or you can just go search it on Amazon, Kindle,
All right.
Apple Books, Audible, all of it.
Awesome. Everybody go connect with Amy, with Kijuan Amey on amymotivation.com. And all the links are going to be in the description for people who are going to be watching this later on. And if today's conversation moved you, his book, Don't Focus on Why Me, is where I would recommend you go next. Kijuan, thank you. Truly, it has been an honor to have you here.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Naga.
And to everyone listening and watching, if today's conversation stirred something in you, if you felt something shift while Kijuan was speaking, that's your resilience muscle waking up. So pay attention to that. Here's what I want you to do with it. Find your resilience score inside my free community in Khan Academy and find out exactly where resilience stands right now and where it needs attention. We talked about self-awareness. There's other resilience pillars that you can look into. The link is going to be in the description, and I urge you to go ahead and start that journey there. This Monday, March 30th at 11 a.m., I'm opening a free live group coaching session inside Khan Academy, and I'd love to see you there. Link is also there. And speaking of what's coming up next month on Leading the Way, my guest believes that leaders aren't born, they are developed. Sound familiar? I can't wait for this conversation. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss it. Kijuan, thank you again so much for being here. And truly, we got to talk so we can bring you back and continue this conversation.
Absolutely. No problem.
Awesome. Until next time, keep leading the way,
I have
everybody.
more degrees than a thermometer.
When you're engaged,
Stands for their interest. Well, they like.
There's a lot of
Your
planning.
daughters will behind you.
I believe in mental health.
Sure that we have mental
When you have
we travel together on the